This is a one take because I don't have the time to do this 10 times. So no matter what I say, no matter how stupid it will be, you will probably have to listen through it. On Instagram I asked you guys to ask me some questions, so I will do a video because obviously I'm too busy, lazy, whatever to do blog posts. So here's what you asked me. What did you use for the stars? It was the picture of Erica on the floor with all the blue dots around her, and actually this is what I used. It's blue stars, like little tiny blue stars, and now they're sticking on my fingers. Yeah, so this is what I used, and I bought them at this store where you can buy like everything you need to create creative things, and it's close to where I live. I will link to where I bought it in the description. There was a question on how I shoot self-portraits if I'm really far away, because the remote control thingies most often don't reach very far. So whenever I experience that, which is not that often, I realize, most often for me it works with remote control. I put my camera on self-timer, and that's the good thing with my camera. You can take 9 photos. Yeah, you can change it from 1 to 9, and I obviously always put 9 in it, and then I have 9 chances to have a good photo with a good pose, and then I run back and check. What inspires you? That's a longer one, I think, though. Really, I most often answer everything. Like, it's not like I'm running around and everything inspires me, but everything has the chance to inspire me. Sometimes it's a light, sometimes it's a thing laying around. Really, just my mom bought a new scarf, it's laying around. I'm like, what? This is a beautiful scarf, maybe I could use it. Or a location, or a person, or a story I heard, or a story I experienced, or an emotion. Really, everything could be the spark of a concept. And then that was harder. Which photographers inspire you? I mean, there are some people that I constantly name for this. Lauren Withrow and David Usuchukwu probably being the top 2 ones that I always name. I will also link to these 2 in the description. Also, I recently linked back to 2 people that really inspire me on Instagram. I think it's on the, I don't know, in one of the, under one of the latest posts. They're both rather street photographers, which is might probably seem weird because I don't do street photography at all. But I really like the simplicity of the photos that you think in a first second, but then you see how well it is composed. I really like that. About composition, how important is negative space to me? And did my format of the triptych photos in my Instagram, did they enhance that? I adore negative space, really. I wish I would use it more often, because to me it's something so powerful. I mean, all the negative space gives so much attention to that something that is somewhere in that negative space. I really like it, and I should maybe try to use it more. And I think I did get more focused on it through my triptych version on Instagram. Sometimes I'm frustrated because one of the photos is really just nothing or black, but sometimes there's just a little bit on it, and then I'm really happy with it. What else do we have? How do you come up with concepts? And I think actually it wasn't even the same person, I think, who asked that, or was it? I don't remember that. How much of my shoots are planned? And I think that kind of comes together, because most often I'm not someone who comes up with a concept and writes it down and makes a drawing and then searches for the perfect location, and I don't know, I'm not like that. I love to work a little bit more spontaneous and just take some things with me and have like a vague idea, and then go to that location that I've seen 2 days ago and just experiment. Of course, sometimes there's something in my head and I kind of very closely know what I want it to look, and I just try to make it as close as possible, but that's really not the case often. I like to see what happens at the location, or with the model, or with the mood, or with the light, and then just see what happens and, I don't know, let it live. There was also something about tips for editing and tones for skin and colors. Honestly, I have 3 or 4 actions that I made years ago that I use almost all the time. I'm a massive fan of color correction. I don't know, I don't edit that much anymore. Sometimes if I do something crazy, like the girl sitting on the pillow in the ocean, of course, that was Photoshop, but tone-wise, I always do the same thing. I don't really like greens, so I always tend to make the greens a little bit more yellow. I don't know, I like tones if they're a little bit more yellowish, reddish, but I don't know what to say about this. I just know what I do, and honestly, I think I'm not that good with skin tones, for example. So, I don't know, maybe just experiment, and if you find something that you like, then make sure you save it. Which ideas, emotions, themes do you hope to convey in your art? Probably really all the time that emotion that I feel in that moment. Most of the time I think in my photography I want to show melancholy. I don't even know how to say that in English. Melancholy? Whatever. I think you know what I mean. I think really that's emotion, and theme-wise melancholy is what it will be so embarrassing if the melancholy is like really wrong pronounced. Anyway, I'm German, so it's fine, I think. Idea-wise, I don't know, I always love that mood of loneliness that is not a sad loneliness, but it's a loneliness that a person is kind of enjoying. Also, I think what melancholy is to me is a sadness that is beautiful, that you can actually enjoy. Sadness isn't something negative to me. I think sadness is something that makes the happy moments even more happy. So, isn't that a good thing? To me it is. And what's the audience, what does the feedback of the audience on that, on my goal to show the melancholy? And I think so far the feedback was pretty much sounded like people feel what I want to tell in my photos. I get a lot of messages with people who say that they really were touched by a photo I took, and that's probably the best compliment. Recently I got a message of someone saying that they, looking through my photography over like a longer period, changed their way of seeing, and I was reading that and I was like fighting tears in front of my laptop, because how awesome is that? I don't know. I think most of the time the feedback sounds like I'm achieving what I try. Though I think nowadays people don't give negative feedback anymore, right? I feel like everyone's just saying nice picture, that's awesome. Actually, even myself, if I see something like with my favorite artists and I see something that I don't like, I'm like, I should tell. I don't know if I should tell them. I wish I could, but I don't know. I feel like, did we forget how to give negative feedback, because nowadays everyone is only accepting positive feedback? I wish people would definitely give me more like critical feedback. Probably not saying negative feedback, but critical feedback. Like not saying this is shit, because obviously this doesn't like take me anywhere, but saying something like, I guess if you would have done this and this, could have been even better. At least that's what I think I would do if I would give critical feedback. Maybe I should start doing that. Maybe. Also, is that feedback important to you? I think I said something about that in the recent interview that I did for August, which is linked on my Facebook page. Of course that feedback is important to me. I mean, I think everyone who says it's not important and I don't care at all is lying, because that's what you post your photo, and obviously you look at the number of the likes and what the people in the comments say, because if you wouldn't care about that, you wouldn't post it online. I think the challenge is to still make the voice inside you the biggest one. I mean, like, do I like it? Is it what I imagine it to be? Like being your own client and judging yourself, and then as a far away second voice listening to what the people online say, because they probably don't even care that much. They look at a picture for 2 seconds and then they say, nice picture. I mean, you obviously see if someone really puts effort in a comment and says a lot and really is like analyzing it, then obviously it's really important to me, and then obviously I really like think about it and consider like this person to like maybe be right, and if I could change something, or if it's positive feedback, like really feeling happy about it because this person actually took some time. So overall that feedback is important, but I try really to not make it like too big. How often do you shoot? I wish I could say every day, but it's not what's happening. Maybe once or twice a week. It totally depends on how much other things I have to do, how much editing I have to do. Depends on the weather, because now it's just getting summer in Germany, so there's like, even if you get up at 6 in the morning, it's already sunny, and as you probably figured from my pictures, I'm not the biggest fan of having sun in my picture. So I'm always waiting for fog, rain, clouds, and that's not really what happens lately. But that's probably why like I love to go on holidays, meetups, because then you really shoot every day. And I'm soon going to go to France with a good friend, and it's probably going to be awesome. How do you choose locations? And also I think the question was also, do I happen to find them and then just shoot there, or if I see them and then plan no wait, it was like I see them and then plan something for them, or do I first have a plan and then search for the perfect location? And it's definitely the first thing. So I see a location and that inspires me to take a certain photo there. I think that's really almost always the case. And then last question, how do you do these triptychs on Instagram, and do I shoot for them or like other way around? So I don't shoot for these triptychs. I shoot for 9:16 format most of the time, and then I cut it even longer for Instagram and try to think how it would look like in these 3 parts, and try to not have one of these 3 pictures having nothing in them, which is not always possible, and then I don't care. So, and for, honestly, it's like the most asked question on my Instagram is, how do you do this? There's so many apps out there to make triptychs, or to even cut your photos into 5, 6, I don't know how many parts. I think the one I'm using is Instagrid. I think it's Instagrid. It's super easy. You just upload your picture, decide on how many parts you want, and then you can upload them to Instagram. Yep, that was it. I really hope I'm not just looking at the other side of my camera, seeing that it was out of focus all the time. Honestly, even if it's out of focus, I'm sorry. Back to editing. Thank you for asking all the questions. Thank you for all the other things. I'm probably doing videos more often because it's so much quicker than doing blog posts. Sorry for everyone who thinks that I'm speaking too fast or too German or anything else. I'm sorry. Have a nice day.